is a simple illustration on how to cut this stylish underbust basque top. So to start, the first measurement you need is to mark out your zipper allowance. For your zipper allowance, you can use 1.5 to 2 inches in front. Then you need your shoulder to bust, under bust, waist, and then 5 inches for your basque. Go ahead to mark your shoulder divided by 2, and it will start from the zipper allowance in front. Now I'm not using the actual measurement, I'm cutting this in form of an illustration. Then from the shoulder measurement, come down by 1 inch and mark a basic neckline of 3 inches and connect. The next step is to find your chest line, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I'll draw out a straight line. I'll place my tape at the chest line and I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. Remember, we are not using the actual measurement, right? Then I'll go ahead to connect. Next, I'm going to mark my dart lines, and to mark that, you need your nipple to nipple divided by 2. I'm going to mark this at the bust, waist, and blouse length. Go ahead to also mark it at your under bust also. Now place your ruler and you're going to draw a straight line connecting. After you're done connecting, take a basic dart intake of 1/2 inch on both sides of the waistline. After marking that, come down by 1 inch from your bust, just like you're marking your basic measurement. I'm going to place my ruler on that 1/2 inch on the waistline, connect it to the upper part, and I'll connect the other side. Go ahead to mark that 1/2 inch at the blouse length or basque length. Now I'm going to extend this all the way to the lower part, and after I'm done extending, start inserting my measurements. At the bust, I'm going to mark the bust round measurement divided by 4 and add my sewing allowance. Mark the under bust circumference divided by 4. This dart that I have here, I'll replace it here. Then go ahead to add the sewing allowance. Mark the waist measurement divided by 4. Mark, then replace the dart intake that I took, and then I'll add a sewing allowance. Next, you want to place your ruler to connect. I'll connect this all the way going down to the blouse length. Now you want to determine how high you want this to be. I will go ahead to mark my armhole first. I'll divide my armhole into 2, and then I'll connect to the midpoint, that is from the shoulder to the midpoint. Then where I have my round bust measurement divided by 4 at the chest line, I'll connect it to that point. Now this is what I have. Determine how high you want your neckline to be. So you can use -4.5 or go up by 2 inches. I'm using -5. Then I'll connect this and blend it all the way straight towards the zipper. From here now, I'll place my tape, and you can come up by 1.5 to 2 inches at this point. Then I'll go ahead to connect to this point. After I'm done connecting, I'll extend it towards the zipper allowance. Here, come up by 1 inch and connect to the under bust of your pattern. So after I'm done marking this is what I have. Now to draw out the basque, go ahead to blend your pattern. Come in by your sewing allowance, and then go ahead to extend this all the way to the basque length of your choice. You can use 4 to 5 inches, or if you want it more lengthy, you can use 6 inches. Then go ahead to connect. After connecting, we are done drafting this out. We'll now draft out the back pattern and also the sleeve of this dress. If you have any questions so far for this pattern, please go ahead to leave your question at the comment section. So while cutting out, you can go ahead to blend out your dart and then cut out this upper part. If you don't want to cut the lower part as one piece, you can go ahead to separate it just and join it back. After cutting this part, you notice at the upper part of your pattern, we have like a little pleat towards the under bust area of this pattern. All you have to do is just to go ahead to slit this into little slash your pattern, right? So that when you're drafting it out, you're going to open it up. So whatever you have there, you're just going to fold it to create a pleat and join it back to the under bust part that is going towards the lower part of this dress. For the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark out all the basic measurement just like we did for the front. Here is the shoulder to chest line, and I marked the shoulder divided by 2 just like I did for the front. Here's the shoulder to bust, and here's shoulder shoulder to waist for the back. I'm using the same measurement for the shoulder to waist at the back, right? So what I'm going to do now is the back pattern, I'll be cutting it in form of a dartless pattern because we have a smoky effect there. Mark your bust measurement divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. So mark your waist measurement divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Now you're going to place your ruler at this point and you connect. So if you came down by -4, -5 or 2 inches above your chest line, from that point now you go ahead to connect this all the way down. The back or the neckline for this pattern, I'm just going ahead to use what I'm okay with. I don't really like my back pattern being that low, so I'll just use this method. And now, just like I said, we have a sheer effect at the back of this dress. What you have to do is to add another pattern paper, which you'll be adding extra 5 inches or 4 inches to your measurement to have this sheer effect for the back pattern of your dress, right? So if you notice, the back pattern we have here is straight, but I did mine a little slopey. You can go ahead to make yours straight or leave it that way. So I'm going to use this tape to hold this pattern down. Go ahead to rule out a line. So what you do is to add extra 5 inches or 4 to your pattern, so that by the time you sew the elastic thread on it, to give you the sheer effect and it can easily open up to fit you, right? So this is what I'll do. I'll just go ahead to connect. Now what I will do next is to go ahead to cut this out. After cutting the back pattern, we'll go ahead to cut out the sleeve. So for the sleeve of this dress, I'll be using a freehand method for the sleeve, right? So this is what I have here. Now the next step I'm going to take is to cut out my sleeve. So let's say what we have here is unfold. This totally depends on what you want to use for your sleeve. So let's say this sleeve is about 12 inches unfold, and for the length we are using like 15 inches. Now at the top, you mark a starting line of 1.5 inches for your elastic. Place your dress and draw out the curve, right? So this elastic, this space you give for elastic, you're going to pass your elastic through it, place this and then connect it to the armhole, then connect the other side to the front of your dress. After connecting that, at the lower part, you also add like an elastic there to give it that gathers effect that you have here.